The Second World War was a conflict of grand strategies, geopolitical maneuvering, and territorial ambition. Ireland, an island on the western edge of Europe, found itself in a curious position, neutral, yet not entirely detached from the war's broader implications. Adolf Hitler, the leader of Nazi Germany, understood the strategic importance of Ireland, but his intentions for the country remained shrouded in historical ambiguity. Did he see Ireland as a mere stepping stone to Britain, or was there a deeper, more nuanced motive behind his plans? Ireland's neutrality was carefully calculated. With fresh memories of British rule still lingering, the Irish government under Éamon de Valera declared its intent to stay out of the war. Though officially uninvolved, the Irish position was of considerable interest to both the Allies and the Axis. Hitler, aware of Ireland's tensions with Britain, sought to exploit these grievances as part of his larger strategy. Yet, the question remains, how serious were his designs for Ireland? To understand Hitler's vision, one must recognize the role of Operation Green, the Nazi plan for the invasion of Ireland. It was more than just theory, it was a structured military proposal, detailed with troop deployments, logistics, and administrative policies. Whether this plan was ever intended to be executed, or simply psychological warfare to disrupt British-Irish relations, is a matter of debate. Ireland's geographic position made it a tempting prospect for the German war machine. Situated in the North Atlantic, it served as a crucial node in maritime supply lines. If Hitler could control Ireland, he would gain leverage over British shipping routes and a launchpad for further operations. From a military standpoint, Ireland's coastline offered ideal locations for German submarines. The Kriegsmarine, struggling against British naval superiority, sought ways to extend its reach. Irish waters, if occupied, could have given the Nazis an edge in the Battle of the Atlantic, allowing them to intensify their blockade of Britain. Additionally, Ireland could have served as a distraction. If German troops landed on Irish soil, Britain would have had no choice but to divert military resources, potentially weakening its defenses elsewhere. While this might have stretched British forces, whether Hitler saw Ireland as a primary focus or a secondary battleground remains uncertain. Throughout the war, Ireland remained steadfast in its neutrality, a decision that was met with mixed reactions. De Valera's government refused to officially support either side, though covert collaboration occurred. Britain sought Ireland's cooperation, requesting access to its ports for military purposes, but de Valera declined. Behind the scenes, however, Ireland was not entirely inactive. It allowed British aircraft to use Irish airspace under discrete conditions. Intelligence sharing also occurred, particularly concerning German movements in the Atlantic. While this cooperation did not equate to full Allied support, it demonstrated Ireland's quiet alignment with the Western powers. Hitler, meanwhile, saw Ireland's neutrality as an opportunity. If the Irish government could be swayed, it could provide Nazi Germany with a relatively unopposed landing point. Whether Hitler genuinely believed this was possible, or simply viewed Ireland as a pawn in his grand strategy, remains a historical mystery. Operation Green was Nazi Germany's official plan for invading Ireland, formulated under direct instructions from German High Command. The proposal detailed an amphibious assault, with around 50,000 troops landing along Ireland's southeastern coast. Once a foothold was established, German forces would push inland, attempting to dismantle Irish resistance quickly. This plan, however, came with significant flaws. Unlike other Nazi operations, Operation Green was heavily dependent on cooperation from German-aligned Irish forces, which did not exist in large numbers. The plan relied on IRA factions, some of whom had ideological sympathies for Germany due to their opposition to Britain. But the extent of any potential collaboration was minimal. Moreover, logistical challenges made Operation Green an unlikely reality. The Nazis lacked sufficient naval capabilities to sustain a large-scale invasion across the Atlantic, particularly in hostile waters controlled by British forces. While Operation Green was meticulously drafted, many historians believe it was never truly viable. If Hitler had attempted to invade Ireland, how would the Irish have responded? While Ireland lacked a strong conventional military, resistance would likely have been fierce. Irish forces, although not as equipped as Britain's, were prepared to defend their sovereignty. Ireland's government had contingency plans in case of foreign invasion. The local security force was mobilized to bolster defenses, though its ability to repel the Wehrmacht was questionable. Furthermore, Irish civilians, shaped by centuries of resistance against foreign rule, would not have welcomed German occupation. Even within the IRA, divisions existed. While some members saw Germany as an enemy of Britain, thus a potential ally, others viewed Nazi ideology with deep suspicion. The notion that Ireland would willingly submit to German control was deeply flawed. Although Hitler entertained ideas regarding Ireland, he knew that diplomacy could serve as a more effective tool than outright invasion. Germany attempted to establish indirect links with Irish nationalist factions, hoping to stir anti-British sentiment. Nazi operatives sought contact with the IRA, seeing them as potential allies in undermining British security. However, the reality of these interactions was far less significant than Hitler may have hoped. Irish authorities monitored Nazi efforts closely, arresting German agents who attempted to infiltrate the country. Hermann Gortz, a Nazi intelligence officer, parachuted into Ireland in 1940 intending to coordinate IRA efforts. His mission ultimately failed, as Irish intelligence quickly apprehended him. This event demonstrated that Ireland, despite its neutrality, remained wary of Nazi overtures. Despite Hitler's ambitions, Ireland refused to be drawn into the conflict in a way that benefited Germany. The Irish government maintained firm control over foreign interactions, ensuring that its neutrality remained intact. Hitler may have harbored grand illusions of Irish support, but the reality of the situation showed otherwise. The Allies closely monitored Ireland's wartime position. Britain, in particular, saw Ireland's neutrality as both an obstacle and a potential security risk. While Irish cooperation existed behind the scenes, official neutrality restricted Britain's ability to fully integrate Ireland into its defense plans. One of the primary concerns was the use of Irish ports. British naval forces desired access to Irish harbors for refueling and strategic positioning against German submarines. De Valera resisted these requests, fearing that granting Britain direct military access would compromise Irish independence. However, this did not mean Ireland ignored Allied needs altogether. Though neutral, Ireland permitted British and American forces certain strategic advantages. Allied pilots who crashed in Ireland were quietly transported back to Britain instead of being interned. Additionally, valuable intelligence regarding German U-boats was discreetly shared with British forces. These quiet collaborations ensured Ireland remained an unofficial yet valuable asset in the war against Germany. Ireland played a subtle but critical role in intelligence operations during World War II. British and American intelligence agencies closely observed Nazi movements in Ireland, suspecting that Germany might attempt to exploit Irish neutrality for espionage purposes. The Irish Military Intelligence Directorate was tasked with monitoring German activities. While many suspected that Nazi operatives were trying to stir anti-British sentiment, most efforts proved ineffective. Ireland swiftly dealt with suspected German agents, preventing any meaningful Nazi foothold from forming. De Valera's government was well aware of Allied concerns and ensured that Ireland would not become a haven for German spies. The country carefully navigated its neutrality while quietly assisting the Allies where it could. While Ireland avoided direct military involvement, its strategic intelligence contributions influenced the broader war effort. One of the most interesting aspects of Hitler's relationship with Ireland was his ideological assumptions. Unlike other nations he sought to conquer, Ireland posed a unique challenge due to its historical struggle against Britain. Hitler believed that Irish nationalists might sympathize with his opposition to Britain, but he severely misjudged their priorities. While Ireland had long fought for independence from Britain, this did not translate into support for Nazi Germany. Irish leaders rejected Nazi ideology outright, viewing Hitler's regime as oppressive and dangerous. Although some individuals saw strategic value in cooperating with Germany, the Irish government remained firmly opposed to the Nazi agenda. Hitler's misunderstanding of Ireland reflected his broader misconceptions about national resistance movements. Just as he miscalculated his approach to Soviet territories, he failed to grasp the Irish perspective on neutrality and sovereignty. Ireland's neutrality during World War II had lasting consequences. While it preserved Irish sovereignty, it also strained relations with Britain and the Allies. The refusal to fully align with Britain led to tension after the war, as Ireland was excluded from post-war benefits extended to Allied nations. However, Ireland's position also reinforced its independence on the world stage. The ability to navigate neutrality in such a turbulent period demonstrated the country's diplomatic strength. Ireland's decision-making during World War II influenced its foreign policy for decades to come. In hindsight, Hitler's ambitions for Ireland proved to be misplaced and ultimately irrelevant to the broader conflict. The war was shaped by major battles, industrial might, and ideological struggle, factors far beyond Ireland's strategic considerations.
Step into the past and uncover the heart of Ireland. At Emerald Chronicle, we bring you hundreds of captivating documentaries exploring Irish history, myths, legends, and folklore. Our playlists guide you through Ireland's fascinating journey, from prehistoric Ireland, proto-historic and Celtic eras, and the early Christian and Viking periods, to the Anglo-Irish invasion and the lordship of Ireland.
Delve deeper into the Tudor conquest and religious conflicts, the union with Great Britain and the Great Famine, the fight for independence and the divisions of the 20th century, and Ireland's evolution into the 21st century. Best of all, we keep all our documentaries at 15 minutes or less, making it easy to explore Ireland's history, even on a busy day.
Every time you watch, you're supporting the upkeep of our channel. And when you share Emerald Chronicle, you're helping to promote Irish history and culture worldwide. We kindly ask you to like and share, and subscribe to Emerald Chronicle now. Let's keep Ireland's stories alive together.